Hello, everyone, and welcome to our stream. This is going to be our final community challenge jam. This is the last video where we are live helping you, giving you information, tips, and tricks for the community challenge. I'm Ariel. I'm a developer advocate at VM.
And I'm Hazal. I'm also a developer advocate here. And I will be basically hosting it, and Ariel's going to moderating it. So if you see her like looking at chat, don't get worried. She will be reading all of your questions and debugging stuff and project ideas, whatever you share in chat. And basically, we're going to talk about some of the housekeeping about the challenge. So we're going to do a quick rundown around what are the categories, how can you submit, what are the topics, how would you get rated with your project. And then we're also going to talk about two new initiations that we started this week. One of them is the giveaway project, and one of them is the remix project. So I'm very excited that you all are here, and I think we can start.
So the first thing we want to start with is we want to reiterate the challenge topics, what the categories are, who the judges are, and what prizes are available.
Great. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can look at the landing page. And let's start up here. So as you all know, this is an Hack an Everyday challenge. So what is expected from you is to add AI to any of the devices that you have. This could be a laptop, this could be a microcontroller, it could be a Raspberry Pi, it could be a home automation device. So entirely up to you what type of a device you want to use. It is also entirely up to you what type of artificial intelligence you want to add. So you can either train an ML model, you can add an ML model that you found somewhere else. You can do generative audio, you can do large language models. So basically any type of artificial intelligence would make your project qualify for the prizes. The only thing you have to do is to use VM SDKs and the VM platform to control your device, basically. We have up to 4,000 in prizes and perks. The first person gets 2,000, the second person gets 1,000, and then the three runner-ups get money, and all of these categories also get a VM2 rover.
You also forgot one more prize perk. You also get bragging rights.
Yes, you will be also promoted on our social media if you're down. We will also like write a blog post. We also have an announcement / like award ceremony that we're gonna host on Discord. So you will definitely get bragging rights for it. Let me move down a little bit since we are sharing our screen. This is where you can see the prizes and perks and what to create. So we have 4+1 categories. This is new, so I'm going to talk about it in brief. Our categories are sustainability, home automation, personal assistant, and wildcard entry. Sustainability is basically, you all know what it is. Any project that you build that's nature related or pollution related or recycling, you can select this category. Home automation is you can do smart light systems, security systems, anything's related with making your house smarter. You can select this category. Personal assistant could be a translation device, a recommendation device, and wildcard entry is basically any AI project that you do with VM that doesn't fit these categories. I think here is a good place to start mentioning the bonus gift. So we just started this project called Remix Project. If you just want to play with VM, maybe this is your first time using VM and you don't know where to start, or maybe you're just very short on time, what you can do is you can remix a project called Use Object Detection to turn your lights on. Let me share this tab. So it is a project that I did a while ago that uses your webcam's camera, and then when it detects you, it turns your lights on. I'm using a very generic people detection ML model. So as you're remixing it, you can basically change some parts of this tutorial. Either you can change the device. So instead of using your laptop, you can use a Raspberry Pi and an external camera. You can change the output. So instead of turning a light on, maybe you can, I don't know, send a photo of the person that's in front of your door and like get an email when someone is visiting you. But the tutorial is very in-depth, so if you follow from beginning to end, you will have something working. And then I think we can share in chat, let me see, we can share in chat the repository for the code that you can fork. And yeah, I think this is a great category to submit your project if you don't want to start over like a huge new project, given that we have, I think, 6 days left, including today. The winner for this specific category gets a $100 gift card and VM swag, and you can select the category from the same submission form, and there will be only one winner, but the price is separated from the original price. So you can submit for both if you want. Like if you have your original idea and you want to submit that for the grand prize, but you also want to tinker with this idea and remix this security detection light up button, then feel free to do that. I guess let's share the tutorial and then the code repository and then the Google form to submit in the chat. I can do that right now.
I got it.
Okay, great. Cool. And we also wanted to talk a little bit about the judges. So I'm one of the judges, and then we have Elliot, who's our CEO, who will be within the judging panel. And then we have Kahari, who's a computer vision engineer at VM, but he also holds a PhD in computer vision, and he loves building projects using AI. So we will all be looking over your project submissions and basically rating with the categories that we let you know. One of them is use of VM. That category is how well you utilize VM's platform and server and SDKs to enhance the functionality of the device. The second one is design quality and project completion, how clear your project's design ideas were and the technical decisions are, and how complete your project is, does the code run, and everything. Applicability, this is to check how large the potential of your project to be leveraged in other use cases or inspire other engineers to do similar stuff. And quality of documentation, which is how clear and polished your project's documentation is, including instructions, explanations, code commands, videos, everything. I do want to mention here, we received some questions about like, oh, I'm stuck in this bug and I'm not sure if I can finish on time. Can I submit my project even if it's not 100% done? Yes. So the only category that you will not get full rating from would be the project completion category, but in all of the other ones, use of VM, documentation, applicability, you can still get the full points, which could potentially mean that you win the grand prize. So I do want to advise everybody, even if your project is not 100% done and you're struggling on a Saturday night and you're not sure if you're in a place to submit, please submit, and there's a very big potential that you can still win.
One other common question that we've been getting is, can I still schedule a one-on-one office hour session? And the answer is yes, of course. We do still have a link available for developer advocates, Nick and Matt Vella, where you can chat with them, get one-on-one project consultation, very much up until the very last day. You can utilize that resource, and we are happy to help.
Yeah, those sessions are great if you are already building a project and then you're stuck somewhere and you need to debug something with an engineer. Those are also great places where you can like brainstorm, and maybe you have an idea but you're not sure if it fits the category. You can ask those questions. You basically get free one-on-one time with our engineers and developer advocates to discuss all of your submission related questions and I guess ideas. One other thing that I wanted to mention is that we're also doing a giveaway. So we just sent an email today, but I also want to mention it here. If you post your challenge project, process photos and videos and draft code and everything, we are doing a giveaway so that you can get swag. Everybody who shares will receive swag, and we will be reaching out to you afterwards to get your address and everything to send the swag. But our swag is awesome. We have an amazing in-house designer, Christina, and she creates very, very nice like t-shirts and notebooks and like a bunch of very cool swag. So if you want VM swag, then this is a great place to get it. You can do so either by sharing on our on your socials and then tagging our social accounts. We have an Instagram, we have TikTok. Follow us if you're not doing so, or you can share it in the Discord challenge section. If you just say, hey, I'm posting my project photos and progress, we will know that you're entering the giveaway and you will be able to get swag for it, which is awesome. I also want to say the deadline for that is Sunday, 21st, which is the actual deadline of the challenge at 11:59 p.m. So starting today to the last second of the challenge, you can share your progress with us and still be eligible to get all of the swag.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to see everyone's submissions, and I can't wait to give away all these really cool prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's do our highly anticipated audience Q&A. We have a bunch of really great questions already. And let's start off with the first question we received from Professor D NYC. Professor D asks, should the entire code base be open source?
It doesn't have to be. Open source is great so that other people can contribute to it and see it, but we are not expecting the entire code base to be open source for you to be able to win the prizes.
Yeah, you can just share it with us and you can let us know if you want to keep it closed, how much you want to share, if you are a winner, and we do a blog post write up. But, the principles of VM and the philosophies of VM, we love open source. Everything that we do is open source. So whatever you decide to do is best. Our next question is from Naveen. Can I participate from California or am I supposed to be in New York?
Oh, great question. You can be anywhere. I want to say anywhere in the world, but that's 100% correct. We have few countries that we're not allowed to send money for, but those are in the landing page in our terms and conditions, like the specific countries that you will not be allowed to get paid from. But anywhere within US, you can totally join. So it's like a remote online hackathon. You definitely don't have to be in New York to join.
And I'm going to drop in the chat the section where you can read our terms and conditions and more information on prize eligibility. But we encourage people to submit anyway, even if they aren't necessarily eligible for a prize.
Yeah.
But from California, definitely not a problem. The next question we would like to highlight is also from Naveen. In the submission form, I didn't see the option to add my project partner. So we have people who are collaborating on the challenge.
Oh, that's awesome feedback. I will totally add this section so that you can add your teammate. I can do it right after this event and let you know.
That's cool. Let's see. What else do we have? We have...
I guess just to reiterate, according to this question, if you can totally join as a team, but when you join as a team, if you win the prize, that's going to get divided between the team members.
That's awesome. We have a question from Rick. Can I submit my project early?
Yes, you can submit your project anytime. This includes literally the day that we launched the challenge to Sunday night.
Yeah, we've had some submissions so far, and it's really cool to get eyes on it sooner. No limits otherwise.
Yeah.
And also, Rick mentioned earlier in the chat that bragging rights is very awesome. So I'm glad that people also feel the same way. We also have a comment from Sarah. Bragging rights is what we're here for.
Yeah.
And also just learning and making really cool things with the VM platform is also very special and very fun. Naveen says, thank you. Yeah, of course. If anyone has any more questions, we would love to highlight that. Any feedback on this challenge process? I love to do a group retro and kind of reflect on this process as we've gone through the challenge. It's been really fun, speaking from myself, running these interactive sessions with the community, hosting really fun live streams. It's been really cool answering everyone's questions on Discord and helping with support and whatnot. What are your big takeaways from this challenge experience?
I think it was just super nice seeing people collaborate with each other on Discord and answering each other's questions, and just seeing our community come together to talk about AI and ethical applications of it and sustainability, and how we can use smart devices into automating our lifestyles and houses and workspaces and personal lives. And it was just super nice to see everyone's interest in the challenge, but also in this smart automation structure in general. I'm seeing another question.
So Psychot asks, is there any tutorial calling GPT-4 or Gemini models calling API using APIs? It will be useful for Raspberry Pi and can also send image data over the API. Great question. We have a really good tutorial where one of our developer advocates made a companion robot that utilizes ChatGPT and a speech output module, where you can leverage LLMs into your robot and call programmatic robot calls as well. And I can drop that in the chat right now for you. Next question, I'll let you take this one.
Okay. What has been your favorite moment so far? Okay, so I was having dinner in Queens one day, and one of our challenge submission registrants, they found me and they said hi, which was my favorite moment so far in the entire hackathon time, because it made me feel like I'm famous, but also it was just nice to see the VM community outside in the world, like talking to each other and connecting with each other. So that is my personal favorite. But what is your favorite moment so far?
I would have to say working live with people in the community on Discord. This has been a new process for us as developer advocates, interfacing over live video. And we've done a bunch of live events. I've gone to a bunch of hackathons with my team, and we really wanted to embody the spirit of that one-on-one mentorship and guidance and that fun and excitement you get in hackathons. But how do we stretch that to our developer base that's scaled all over the world? So we came up with the idea of utilizing our community Discord and having these one-on-one sessions throughout the challenge, so we can always touch base with people. And I feel like we've almost made friends. There's a bunch of familiar faces. The same people come to our streams, and that's been really magical for me. So I love that so much. Yeah, we have, thank you, Rick, for parroting my sentiment. Yeah, the competition in the Discord community has been really, really fun, really interactive way to engage with our developer community. We have another comment from Sarah.
Could you explain a little more about the remix? Do you have any examples of how to remix this? Yes. So just to reiterate, the remix project is basically a chance for you to join the community challenge without creating something from entirely on scratch. It is a way that you can like fork a code repository and change some stuff about the project and then submit examples. So like instead of turning a light on, maybe you can say, whenever I'm sitting at my desk, I want my fan to turn on because it's summer and okay. We had a glitch for a second, so I wasn't sure if you're still hearing me. So instead of turning the lights on, maybe you can have a fan turn on, and it's summer and it's great that you have a fan on your desk. You can train a model specifically on your face. So maybe something happens in your house only when when the camera sees you and not your roommates. That could be a good submission. Maybe you can have a system where like when your camera sees something, it plays a sound. So you can have like a greeting robot that greets your roommates. You can train a model on bananas, and maybe you have a camera in your kitchen and it sends you an email when you're out of bananas. You can have maybe what else? You can have
instead of doing text messages, you can do a different type of alert. You can emails, or
you can send a photo of the person who's in front of your camera and then like do something with that photo. You can have a doorbell project where like if someone is at your door, it takes a photo of them and like sends a text message to you. You can have maybe hand gesture project, like if you do something specific in front of your camera, it recognizes that you're waving and maybe it says something nice to you or plays a random song from Spotify. There's like the options are endless, so you can either change like the output, you can change the camera, you can change the device. You can do as little or as extensive as you want to.
You can do like a low level Nest Cam, like budget Nest Cam, where you have it on your front door. And when somebody knocks at your door, you can just get a text message, and you can just change the hardware slightly of the project as well. And that would also be very valid for a remix.
Yeah. When I was writing the tutorial, I only used my MacBook webcam because I was hoping that the tutorial stays as low budget as possible. So I didn't want people to go and have to buy external hardware. But if you want to buy external webcams and use that and maybe use a Raspberry Pi, that's totally fair, and that will still qualify for the remix project. I actually wanted to extend this project to do like a book detection project where I have a camera, and whenever like I enter the frame with a book, it starts like tracking me, and then at the end of maybe like a week, I can see like how many minutes I read a book, and like it also turns my lights on, and then when I'm done reading and I finish it, I obviously don't want to walk to the other end of my room like to turn the lights off and sleep, so it can like automatically turn my lights off, and I can just put my book in my like on the floor and like just fall asleep. So maybe you can even do that. Even though it was my idea, I would love to see it happen. So I can take your code and use it in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That reminds me, in elementary school, we had to do reading logs. And,
Me too.
and like your parents had to sign off on how long you read it. And that was probably the time in my life I consumed books the most because I had that kind of tangible system tracking it. That's such a brilliant idea to make a robot to track that.
That would be great.
We have a few more comments. We have a comment from Dan Makes Things. So not a question, but I wanted to say how great it is to see the features of VM growing. Since I started looking into it, the support has also been amazing from the whole team.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, we really take user feedback seriously as a young startup, that we're always constantly evolving and listening to user feedback, and challenges like this also help generate a lot of that feedback. We're making a product for the people and we want people to use it. So thank you so much for that feedback. Our next one, also some really sweet feedback. I've been impressed with the team's approachability, documentation, and walkthrough for the challenges. Great job.
Thank you, Professor D. We really appreciate all of the good feedback, and thank you for being great community members, because I feel like without you, it wouldn't be possible.
Exactly. And thank you for showing up every session as well. Another feedback. So when the challenge started, we gave tips for success. Think big, work backwards. For those starting today, is there anything you would suggest to submit a strong project within a week? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So one thing, obviously, we talked about could be remixing something if you don't want to start over. If you already have an idea that you want to accomplish, I would say keeping the scope small is always good. A lot of times people start ideas. This is also me. And then I'm like, I want to create the biggest, most successful, most functional project ever. And then I'm like, I want to create this variable that is also a translation device that also tracks deforestation levels in Central Park. And then I realize as I do it, it's like, wow, this is so hard and it's so long and I probably don't have time to finish it. But you can always drop those into like smaller sections of like, I want to test a translation capability. And then after you finish that section, you can say, oh, I want to turn this into a recommendation device. And if those are sections that you walk through like slowly, even one section could qualify for the prize. So you don't necessarily have to have a gigantic scope for the project to win something. You can start small. Even though we said think big, work backwards, you can start small, and then if you have more time, you can add more capabilities and features to the project before you submit, but you will still have something that's ready to submit beforehand. But also, third tip is you can still submit if you're not fully done. So if you already started and your scope is very big and you're stuck somewhere, and you have a bug and maybe you don't know if you can fix it in like 6 days, 7 days, you can submit still wherever you are, and then you will be still qualified for the criteria that is not the project completion one. So you can still get great marks on all the other ones and win the prize. And then after you win the prize, obviously feel free to continue your project and finish up, because we're going to have a blog post, we're going to have social awards and award ceremony. So if you want to have the full completion by then, you can also submit again, or like email us and talk to us on Discord. But yeah, those are my tips. What about you?
Yeah, I want to also add on that, if you don't finish, that's totally fine. And you can keep iterating and keep sharing with the community. Just because the challenge ends doesn't mean you should stop using VM. We have a built on VM channel within our Discord. You can continue making projects, remixing, reaching out to us. And my tangible advice for building a project, I'm reminded of this project that a project manager did here a while ago when we first started building the product, called Base in the World. Do you remember that?
Oh.
So it was a project where every time we added a new feature at VM, this product manager had a robot that eventually had every service and every, like a lot of different, mostly services, some components, change the physical hardware, so that it was a way to keep testing everything that we were building. And I really liked the way that they approached building this, because it started with a small rover that just drove in a square. And every week, or every cycle, when we were launching new things or testing new things, added the vision service to the base, then add motion planning to the base. So you can work similarly where you have a robot or machine with very simple hardware actuation, and then seeing what you can add onto that and just keep going in that process. And you can make your project more robust or, more technically complex over time as well. And because all of our services are modular and work together, it's very easy to kind of drag and drop different parts of your project and keep adding onto them.
Yeah. I think I have two more things to add. One of them is, this is also something I heard from the community. Sometimes you already have an AI related project. What you can do is you can put that project on VM. So instead of starting something new, if you were already working in the space of AI and machine learning and computer vision, and you already built something, you can just add it onto a device that is running VM server, and you can use the VM SDKs to make it more functional and smarter. And that will also be a great submission if you're especially stuck in time. But also, and the second one that I wanted to mention is that sometimes it's easy to get distracted as like, I want to train my own model, but I also want to create something and put it on the registry, and I also want to add all these like extensibility features. But if you go to our registry, we have a lot of modules already that you can use and test. We also have a lot of machine learning models that you can use. For example, like if you want to just detect a person, but you don't really care who that specific person is, you just want to know that it's a person, you don't necessarily have to train a new model for that, which would save you some time because you're already using an existing ML model. So if you want to start a new project and you want to just finish it within the week, maybe you can have choices like as you're deciding what to do, to pick things that will take a little less time. So instead of training a model, like custom model, you can use an already existing trained model.
Yeah, that's great feedback. And Rick just said, I've been working on hardware for a few weeks. I guess I should start the software side of things. Well, there's no wrong way to approach this project. You could have the most robust and advanced and coolest hardware setup with some supplemental software service things, or things that you just like navigate in the control panel. So really looking forward to seeing these submissions.
I also want to like reiterate that I think VM makes the software side of things very easy. I struggle with the hardware side of things also. So if you get a hold on to the hardware side, like in the VM app, you can basically just add your components and be able to control them. So I think you're still in a great place to finish on time.
Absolutely. And Rick also has another question. Do you know if any startup companies have been launched solely due to VM being available? Great question. And I'm going to give you this answer. You can look at our marketing website and you can check out our customer testimonials where you can read all of the case studies and all of the people that we have publicly partnered with. And you can see which companies are doing what with VM. And we also work closely with a lot of other companies, which you will hear about soon in the future. So I'm dropping that answer in the chat right now, vm.com/customers if you want to learn more about that. So now that I think we talked about all of the questions, and also thank you so much for all of the really good feedback. If anyone else has any other questions related to the challenge, feel free to drop them in the stream now. Otherwise, we are here to help you. You can join our Discord server and ask questions there. In our challenge channel, you can book some time with us, one-on-ones. I will share that link as well in our Discord. So speak now or forever hold your peace, because it makes me sad. This is our last, at least for this challenge, our last section where we can live help you.
We have like the live judging ceremony, which I also wanted to remind. It's on 30th of April on Discord. That session is basically going to be us informing the winners, talking about their projects, and regardless of if you win or not, we would love to see you there, because it's also very important to like collectively celebrate people who joined, helped each other out, and like we would love to see your faces there. And just to like, I guess, give a brief rundown of what we talked about, you can remix a project. We shared it in the chat which project it is. It is use object detection to turn your lights on. That is going to be a separate like submission price. So you're going to get $100 if you win that category. Otherwise, our categories are sustainability, personal assistant, wildcard entry, and home automation. So you can submit to either of these and the remix project. We're also doing a giveaway. So if you share your progress and process photos and videos and code of your project, you're going to immediately win swag. We have the deadline on 21st Sunday night. So if you're in California, make sure that you submit before the deadline of midnight.
Eastern time.
Eastern time. We're in New York. And what else did I miss? Our panel is me, Elliot, and Kahari. We are super excited to see all of your projects and rate them and award you with some spicy, nice money. For the submission process, I think we have the form, and the form explains everything. But just to give a brief rundown, we want you to share some photos and videos. We want you to share code. So a GitHub repository link that's public that we can see your code. We want you to share your project in Hackster or Instructables. So you can just share the project over there, and then you can send the link of that through the Google submission form. And I heard the feedback loud and clear that if you're working as a team, there's no space to mention it. So I'm going to add that to the submission form today. So if you're not joining as a personal participant, but you have a team, you can mention it there, and you will be sharing the prices if you win. Mm-hmm. We also do expect you to have a little bit of documentation, so we know how to set up and test your project. So if you have a good README on GitHub, that's always great.
Readable code is also very helpful as well.
Videos are awesome. If you want to talk about your process and why did you pick your topic, what was your ideation process, that would also be very nice to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited for our awards ceremony too, because not only will we be, judging and announcing our winners, but we are also likely to highlight some of our favorite other projects from the community, some of our favorite moments. Think of it as like a season finale where we're going to be sitting down talk show style, going over all of our favorite moments, all of our favorite things. We do have one final question that I would love to answer, and I think it's the perfect note to close on. So Saikot says, any chance there will be another competition soon?
That would be great. We are not sure yet, so I don't want to give wrong information and promise something, but I personally would love to host more of these challenges. If you would like to see more of these challenges, please let us know. Because I feel like if this was valuable for the community and you enjoyed the guided sessions, we would obviously love to continue doing that. I'm going to send a form after the challenge is done to get all of your feedback. One of the questions is actually like, would you join another competition and what type of a topic you would like to see? So if you submit some topic ideas, we can also make sure that we highlight those in the upcoming competitions if we do so.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining our stream. It's been so great seeing all of your faces here, your digital faces, seeing people come back and share a bunch of really cool things. And I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone's projects. So
thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, and have